Hey everyone, this is Charlie the Plug, your host of the Detroit Metro Plug podcast, powered by Empower You Ventures. Don't forget to subscribe so you too can be a part of the biggest empowerment network on YouTube and Facebook. We bring you weekly interviews of Detroit difference makers in the area of entrepreneurship, community involvement, also reaction to business news and community news. This does not happen without your support. Thank you. All right. This is episode number 141 of the Detroit Metro Plug, 142 of the Detroit Metro Plug podcast. I'm Charlie the Plug, Charles McKay, aka Charlie the Plug. And every week we bring you what we call difference makers in the area of entrepreneurship and community involvement. Thank you for those who are joining us live on our various platforms on LinkedIn, Facebook, and YouTube. We got a great guest, a great topic tonight. Just want to say happy Wednesday to everybody who in the Detroit area and those who are abroad. It's kind of cold and chilly over here, so we're trying to get through this winter. We got about a month and a half to get to spring, so I'm looking forward to that. But just welcome for those who join on the podcast. If you're finding value in what we're doing, please like and subscribe, share this feed. Let the algorithm know that positive content, uplifting content is something that people enjoy and like. All right, so we're gonna get right to it. I'm gonna bring our guests on into the studio here. 1 second here. There we go. All right. So I'm going to do a formal introduction of our guests. Thank you for those who are joining us live. If you have a question or comment for our guests, I try to recognize you. We want you to chime in. So our next guest in this episode of the Detroit Metro Plug podcast is an entrepreneur, community leader, and author who has dedicated his life to empowering individuals through business and mentorship, from overcoming challenges to building successful ventures. He has proven strategies for wealth building, leadership, and making a lasting impact. He is a key figure of Believe 313 staffing, which helped create opportunities for returning citizens and inspiring entrepreneurs in their development, in their path to entrepreneurship. In this episode, we're going to talk about how do we build wealth while giving back to the community. The power of second chances and creating opportunities for others, his lessons learned from launching and scaling a successful business, and the mindset that is needed for long-term success. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 142, none other than Mario Kelly. All right, I know you're a busy man. You got things going on. You got an interview you're going to prepare for, another interview for tonight. So I just want to get right to it. So just kind of give a backstory. Who is Mario Kelly? If somebody asks you who is Mario, what would you tell
them? He's a father, a husband, a businessman here in the city of Detroit. Like he said, I started with $27 to being able to have a multi-million-dollar company in cleaning. God-fearing man, God first. I wouldn't be here sitting on this podcast if it wasn't for God. Everything that has happened in my life is due to the fact that God has put me in that role, in that path, to walk down that path.
Right. Okay. So your husband, God-fearing man. Are you a native Detroiter? Are you born, raised here, or?
Yes, I'm a fifth generation Detroiter, actually.
Fifth generation.
My great grandfather. Yes, they came here from South Carolina. Let's say early 1900s. I just did my ancestry.com, so I was able to trace my roots back to South Carolina, back to actually Nigeria. But yes, I'm born and raised in the projects downtown Detroit. Went to Murray Wright, graduated from Murray Wright High School. And I'm a native. I love Detroit. This is my city.
Oh, okay. Well, man, we're glad to have you. Fifth generation Detroiter. Your roots run deep here, and we're glad to have
Yes.
you on the Detroit Metro Plug podcast. You share something interesting because, now that, um, generational wealth is a buzzword, financial freedom and financial literacy is a buzzword now. Entrepreneurship, being a founder, is a buzzword. When I was growing up on the west side of Detroit, my parents and grandparents basically just kind of told me, stay out of trouble, go to school, get a job.
Yeah.
There was no entrepreneurs to look to. I didn't even think about having my own business until now, this season we're in now. So what was different about you? Because you said $27. That's like, $4 or $5 bills and some singles, and you
Yes.
built a business. And what was the foundation in terms of you being open to own your own business, entrepreneurship? Were you exposed to that as a young person?
Yes. Honestly, my parents were entrepreneurs in different fields. My grandmother owned the cleaners growing
Okay.
up. My mother was just a natural hustler. We call ourselves YBI kids. She
Oh,
came through that.
YBI.
She came through that era was when it was about hustling. But so
Right,
growing up,
right.
she made
Corner
sure
boy.
that she made sure that we got up and if it was Mother's Day, Father's Day, we were selling flowers at the gas station. If not, I'm at Farmer Jack's asking you, can I carry your bags to the car? We
Okay.
always any type of way we can get some money. I remember when I was young, she told me that if I don't have enough money in my pocket to make a phone call, I can go to jail. So I really have believed that my whole life that I have to have some money at some store.
Funny. Yeah.
But like I said, my grandmother owned the cleaners for at least 25 years. My
Okay.
mother used
All
to
right.
work there. I used to work there. So, just growing up, I've always seen entrepreneurs. I've always seen people,
Okay.
start their own businesses of all sorts, you know.
Okay.
Um, so it was very seldom, honestly, that I see anyone getting up going to work. I always see
Wow. Wow.
them handling their own business as far as their own
Right.
work or whatever it may be. So that's really what this in my mind when I got older. I said I want to be an entrepreneur, but I have had jobs, but I've always felt like it's some I can do the job better, or I can add some type of. If we did it like this, it might be a little bit better, or if we did it like that, it might be a little bit better. So
Right.
growing up, I just always been an entrepreneur.
Okay. That's dope. That's dope. So you were exposed to, shout out to your grandma.
Yeah, most definitely,
Uh,
most definitely.
she had that cleaners. So you were exposed to self-sufficiency, making a way, hustle culture in terms of, finding a way, shoveling snow, taking groceries, people
Yes.
bring people. So you had that rooted into you. So that's awesome. That's awesome. Everybody didn't have that exposed. So that's great. So explain to our audience. So you kind of gave a backstory of your foundation, how you got into this model, but you took $27 to start a cleaning company. So how people be like, man, I don't know what to do. How do I get started? So explain that. That sounds like almost like a miracle.
When people always ask me what should I do, I tell them just start it. Launch and learn. Don't worry
Mhm.
about trying to figure out whole back end. You have a lot of people who say, "Oh, I started a company name 3 years ago, but I'm waiting on my LLC or my EIN." Just launch it and learn while you're going. But for myself, I've always been a person to try to find the inches around me to figure, whatever ways I can make a dollar or figure something out. It's in my general area. I would try to always do so. During the COVID, we were locked down in February of 2020.
Okay.
Um, and I was watching CNN, and I seen the guys in Wuhan, China, were like walking up the street blowing something out of a machine. And
Hmm.
I just figured out, like, I know my purpose in life is to help. I always want to help, regardless if it's coaching, if it's getting someone a job, if it's just helping a company, getting employees, if it's just helping someone in general. I love helping. So I was watching that, and I asked my friend, I say, well, what do you think they're doing? She said, I don't know. You should find out. So I ended up Googling, and they had an electronic fogger. So what I ended up doing was figuring out what type of chemical go on the fogger that kills COVID. I studied the CDC like a maniac every day to figure out what chemicals kill what germs and how long it takes to kill those germs. I ended up just started marketing on Facebook. A church contacted me on the east side and said that they needed their church clean. I went March 22nd, the day after my birthday, and I just needed $27 worth of product to do this job inside using a fogger and different things like that.
So you bought for $27. You bought a fogger to help clean.
No. I bought the products that go to the fogger. All the cleaning products I need.
Cleaning products, okay.
All the cleaning products I need was just $27. Ended up going to the church, and halfway through that job, they recommended me to another church.
Okay.
I went to that job. Halfway through that job, they recommended me to a third church. So each church I was charging $1,500. I made $4,500 within 4 days, and I said I would never do anything else.
Now, were you by yourself doing this?
$27 and make. No. So what I ended up doing was going to a shelter in the city of Detroit and getting 2 guys.
You went, so you like
gave them like say maybe.
Yeah.
Say it one time.
Oh, so when you got that first job, you went to the shelter and said, "Hey, anybody need some work?" And you got them. Oh wow.
Yeah, I went to the shelters and got 2 gentlemen from the shelters, and they helped me do the jobs. I ended up giving them like $200 a job, and then it was just on and popping from there. I just always said I would never do anything else, so I ended up just promoting everything I was doing, and then it was like a snowball effect. We were doing 4 to 5 different jobs a day. We ended up getting a contract with the churches, so there were like 22 or 23 churches that are on the east side, or like in this group. So we would just go back and forth from doing all of those churches, because the only way they're gonna make money is if they're able to have service. So we did that for about a week or two, and then let's say they locked the city down maybe the beginning of April, the mid part of April. So the next thing was I was getting calls from people whose parents were coming home from having COVID or were in the hospital while they had COVID, and they needed the house clean. So we started cleaning the house. So we would do all the residential houses for people who had COVID or whatever it may have been. And we did that from like April to December. And when I say we probably did 5 to 6 houses a day at the minimum. Wow. And that's just where the whole cleaning, I just never looked back from then.
Wow, that's amazing. That's amazing. That deserves some air horns. Man, so when you did your research for the cleaning products and got your first job, how did you know exactly what to do when you got into the church? Did you just watch other people, how they did the cleaning, or you had some exposure with kind of like janitorial services?
Well, honestly, man, like I said, I grew up in the projects on the east side. I'm an 80s baby. So my era, we had chores. We had bathroom on the refrigerator that said Tuesday, kitchen on Wednesday, living room on Thursday. If my mother was the type of person, when she came home, if it wasn't done, she gonna wake you up 2, 3 in the morning. So you got to make sure your job is done. So I always tell people I've been a professional cleaner since I was about 7, 8 years old.
Okay, so yeah, all right. So it was just ingrained in you. Okay, so you knew exactly what to do.
I had no choice.
And what gave you the idea because I know I read in your bio you help people get second chances, returning citizens, and I noticed that was very almost genius. You went to the shelter. What made you, like, instead of like hiring family or put out something on Facebook, what made you decide to go to the shelter to hire a crew?
Like I say, this really being witty, and then also taking advantage of the interests that are around you. So I know that people at shelters, they need work. They're trying to get out of the shelters. Sometimes your family member is gonna be like, "Oh man, give me 500, give me 7." The family members in business don't. So my goal was to really just build an empire through the shelters, and then like I said, I like to help. I just don't want to take advantage of anybody. I want to make sure you get a livable wage, and I want to try to help you in your situation as much as I can. So that was the first choice, was either go to the shelters, and then later on down the line, that's when I started using the people from the halfway house.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So man, that's just awesome. So you got them from the shelters, you got your first contract with that church, then it word of mouth. It started spreading to churches. Then you eventually did residential. How fast did you scale up your crew? Because it was yourself with two guys. Did it? How fast did it grow? It sounded like it grew. You had a nice little crew. You had to
So
expand.
honestly, it grew. It grew overnight. A lot of times I tell people about the operations of a business. I didn't even really have my back end together. My first check that the church wrote me, I didn't even have a business bank account. So I'm going back and forth to different big banks trying to cash a
Wow.
check to say 313 staff, and I don't even have the back end as far as the LLC and different things. So that's why I tell people to just launch and learn.
Oh,
And
just launching.
I had to learn
Oh,
in order to cash these checks. I have to have a business bank account. I had to go do me an EIN and LLC.
right.
But it just grew overnight to the point to where, and I'm from the project, so I ended up going to the projects and hiring people from down there that I knew needed a job, needed some work, and
Right.
help them also.
Wow. That's awesome. Um, so the company grew, and then eventually you wrote about this experience, right? Put it in a book.
Yeah, I ended up, because I was homeless in 2016, and I ended up finding a book called The 19 Isms by Dan Gilbert. And what
Okay.
19 Isms is, it's different sayings that he lives by. So I said I
Right.
might as well study his isms and follow. If he's a billionaire, why wouldn't I try to follow his footsteps?
Mhm.
So each chapter of my book is not, it's a slight memoir, but it's more so about what did I do in order to gradually grow my business from $27 to a multi-million-dollar cleaning company. And it had a lot to do with the 19 isms.
Mhm. Okay. So people can see the slide. I got the book, which they can purchase on Amazon. The 27 million, the
Yes, sir.
$27 millionaire, and you kind of explain how you started with the cleaning business.
Yes.
Um, so what advice you would
Yeah.
give for people who are going to watch this that's looking to create financial freedom and build generational wealth?
Money and numbers follow; they don't lead. So if you build something great, it'll come. Don't worry about, like people say, I'm chasing the bag, I'm doing this. No, focus on building something great, and then everything else that you want will come. Money is not like for most people who feel like, who don't have a lot of money or have any money at all, they feel like that's the be all end all. But really, that's it. It'll come from different ways. Sometimes I have people contact me for things that I would have never knew they'd contact me for to be wanting to pay. Podcasts or interviews and speaking engagement, different things like that. I didn't even have that in my path as far as myself, but it just came by me having a great story. Also, like I said, launch and learn. If you have an idea, don't just jump off the mountain of faith. Don't worry
Okay.
about trying to make sure you got the insurance right, the LLC, the EIN. Don't worry about none of that. If you have a great idea, just focus on that idea, and you'll learn as you gradually grow. Like I tell people now, I just lived together a business plan last year, financial projections last year. We're talking about, we already did up close to $4 million, and now we're going back trying to put a business plan in, financial projection, because the business took off so fast that I didn't have time to really put all of those things together.
Okay. So I like that advice. If you got an idea, just go for it.
Yes.
And make improvements on the way. Because sometimes we kind of get stuck in our head. We got to do this. We got to have the website. We got to have the LLC, EIN number, our bank account, the right people, a social media manager, this and that. You go to these classes, training, and business plan, and then 2 years going past, you still haven't launched. And so you got to start messy and learn on the way. Because really, the best learning tool is on the job training.
Yes, it's one of those isms that Dan Gilbert has. It's called take the roast out the oven.
Take the roast
take it out the
there.
oven. See if it's hot. If you need to add some pepper, you can put it back in. If it's done, or how hot is it? How done is it? Was it need some seasoning? Just take the roast out the oven. Don't focus on everything else. Take it out. If it needs to add some salt, put some salt on it and throw it back in there.
Okay. what were some of your lessons in your journey? Because you started this in 2020, so it's a 5-year-old business. Is
Yes,
that
yes,
okay?
5 years ago. Yeah.
What were some of the 3 lessons you learned on the way when you got started doing this that you can share with
Um,
our audience?
One of them is emotional intelligence.
Okay.
Don't start a business, and when you're going into it, you're going to face so many different obstacles and different things. Don't lead your business with emotional intelligence. Don't
Okay.
don't be so emotional. Just let the cards play out. Um,
Okay.
One thing that I wish I would have knew back then was credit. You know,
And how
that's
to build
really
your credit.
generational. Yeah, that's what I consider generational wealth. I don't feel like a person starting that. A lot of people, like you said, buzzwords say, "Oh man, I'm starting a business for generational wealth." But who's to say that your child is going to want to carry on that business? So
Right.
teach them different things: life
Teach.
insurance, credit.
Right.
These are two of
Right.
the things that are going to grow our generations. If we want to learn from Rockefeller and all them guys, they were able to build their foundation off of
Mhm.
life insurance policies, making
Right.
sure
Right.
and putting it in a trust. So
Right.
understand the trust of what a trust is, life insurance policies, and having good credit.
Good credit, life insurance. All right. But I like the main point. Just get started. Just get started. Start messing.
Just get
Yeah.
started, man. I know. I'm pretty sure. I don't know how long have you had this podcast?
I've been doing this podcast since 2021, and I just started on my computer on a webcam. And now I got all this equipment, and I can do in
Yeah.
studio pop up. And I self-taught myself how to edit video, how to edit audio, but I just started messy and didn't care what people thought.
My point exactly.
I know I looked goofy when I first started, and
Launching.
then yeah, I just launched it, and then I formed the paperwork, and
Yeah, we all do. We all look crazy when we first start, but
yeah, yeah,
you
yeah,
know,
yeah.
about just learning on the job. This is his story, so nobody is perfect under his story. So,
Right,
and we
right,
can't just get focused on making sure that everything is perfect, because if that was
right,
the case, I don't know where I'll be right now. I'll probably still be cleaning houses. But
right.
what actually grew me to the stadiums was that in 2021, I seen no one wanted to go to work. So that's when I launched the staffing side of the cleaning business. And
Oh,
then America Park ended up contacting me, and because they needed cleaners. Well, they had a cleaning company, but they needed people. They needed bodies. So what
okay.
we ended up doing was supplying the bodies for the stadiums.
Oh,
They can do the cleaning, and then it just gradually grew. We started off with 25 people. The next
right,
week it was 28 people. The week after that it might have been 40. And then by the
right.
time we left Co-America Park and got to Ford Field, they were asking for at least 100 people. And what I ended up doing was going to the halfway houses and on the east side of Detroit called Townsend. So if you ever go to the feds and you come home, you have to go to a halfway house.
Right, right,
Um, I ended up becoming a vendor up there, because the only way when you're in a halfway house, the only way you're going to get out of jail or get out of the halfway house is to have
right.
a job.
A job, yeah.
Most people have like the last 6 months to a year, and they have to serve there. So they're trying to get out on a daily, but whatever it may be. So I went there and became a vendor, and we started using their employees in order to clean the stadiums.
Okay. So, man, you started out as a cleaning company, specifically sanitizing, killing germ, the COVID cleaning type of concept, to the point where you've developed this staffing company. So, when did the 313, what is it called, 313 Believe Staffing, when did that get started?
Yes. Well, I had the name. I had already made the name like back in 17, but that was all I had, was just a name. It
Right.
got to rolling in 2021. Like I said,
Mhm.
once I seen, 2020 was all about germs,
Right.
COVID,
Right.
different things like that. In 21, nobody in the world wanted to work. Everybody
Right.
was riding out PPP and SBA
Right.
loans and different things
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
that, unemployment. So I said, well, I might as well get in front of it and watch the staffing side. So when people start coming back to work and companies start looking for people, I'm the liaison in the middle.
Right. Got you. Got you.
So
Got you.
I'd say around July of 21 is when we started staff in Comerica Park.
Okay. Okay. Wow, man! Shout out to that, man! Shout out. No, I'm going to show the book again. Who was this book for? I know they can get it on Amazon. Who did you write this book for? Who would be a best person to be impacted by this work?
First off, I would say any entrepreneur, black, white, Latino, red, whatever your race is, it's for entrepreneurs. But it's also just for human beings in order to just mentally grow yourself. Like I said, each chapter I use a different ism. Like for instance, chapter 1 is I took advantage of the inches around me. I ended up going to Shinola one day for a visit, the watch company, and when we was walking through the store, the lady was like, "Oh, I'm so sorry. Our cleaning company is terrible. Let me straighten up real quick." And I said, "Well, I have a cleaning company." So I was able to just understand that this is a need that they need, and I have the solution for their problem. So it's for anyone who's looking to grow their self, grow their business, start a business, or if you're just trying to be mentally stronger.
Right. Oh, that's dope. That's dope. Wow. Now you were on the popular financial literacy podcast, Earn Your Leisure,
Yes.
which I got over about 100,000 views when I looked at it on YouTube.
Yeah.
Tell me how that came about. What they contact? How did that work? I'll let you explain how.
Man, that was God, really. That's why I say God is driving this car. I'm just a passenger. In 2021 of December, I learned about Earn Your Leisure, and that's like my family. I mean, ain't no like that's my family now. We've grown a relationship to the point to where we talk on the phone. I've been to their homes, they've been to my homes. But in 2021, I learned about the group, and I was so excited about the things that they were trying to teach us that I wanted to bring them here to the city of Detroit. That didn't work. That didn't work out how I had it planned. So 4 or 5 months later, a friend of mine said, "Hey, EYL is coming to Detroit. We want to do a tour of Shinola." By this time, I'm already cleaning Shinola headquarters, stores, and different things like that. As we're giving them a tour around the Shinola headquarters, they just asked me, like, "Man, what do you do?" And I told them I had a cleaning company. I told them about how I started my cleaning company with $27 and how we're cleaning all the stadiums in the city of Detroit, all the big arenas here in the city of Detroit. And they were so amazed that 2 weeks later, he sent me a text message like, "Hey, do you think you can come to New York and do a show?" I didn't pay for anything. They pay, they don't accept money. They just want to put great stories out. So they contacted me. I told them, "Hey, I can make it happen." I flew down to New York, and it was curtains. That right there has really broadened my horizon around the world. I have people to me from Ghana to Houston to California. And also what it also did was allow me to expand my business to more of a franchise level. Because now we clean in Houston, we clean in Boston, we clean in New York, we clean in Seattle. So these are areas where we do cleaning at due to the fact of being on this podcast and them stretching my arms as long as I can stretch them.
All right. Shout out to Earn Your Leisure, Troy and Rashad.
I like a lot of people talk about Troy and Rashad, man, but they have another partner which name is Mike, but their manager name is Abdullah. So Abdullah is the person you will never see. He's behind the scenes. But when I tell you this brother is everything you see that they've been doing in the last 3 to 4 years, he's the one putting those plays together. So I always try to shout him out anytime I get a chance.
All right. Shout out to Abdullah. Man, so that is great, man. $27. You had a vision to just start a business, started researching, got started cleaning churches, residential, now stadium, staffing company, EYL. Man, that is awesome. You are a great example. For those who are watching, I mean, those who watch the replay, definitely get the book. Learn from this guy. Learn from his model. Start messy. Get going. We got a comment. I want to make sure we somebody put a comment. Okay. All right. So that's they just Okay, so that comment's not on there. All right, so what I wanted to show. See, I want to make sure. I wanted to actually go to the website, and so people can kind of see what's on there. Is that okay to go to the
Yeah, most definitely.
Yes, let me share. I'm gonna share my screen.
You know, I
And,
want one more thing while you're doing that. I want to say is, you said three things that people, I can share with them.
right.
The last thing will be
Oh yeah, yeah. Go
discipline,
ahead.
money
Discipline.
discipline. If you think about $27 to my book is a $27 millionaire, and you think about those different goals that I hit coming from $27, hitting 10,000, hitting 100,000, hitting 200,000. Those are a lot of goals where some people will say, man, you know what? I'm about to go buy me a house, buy me a car. You just got to have some money discipline. You got to really be
Okay.
you got to be selfish a little bit. You got to miss a lot of things. First off, you can't go to every party. And if you're going to go to some of these parties, you ain't got to buy a new outfit every time.
Right. Man, you just dropped a bar, because there's a season of sacrifice when you're starting a business where you may go without any money you make. You're reinvesting in the business to make it grow, to scale. And sometimes, we hit that first lick, we get the 5 racks or 10 racks. We want to go out shopping. You get a Louis belt or get us a new whip to show people we making money. Now, me, I'm a little different. I don't want to be flashy. I want to be that guy that got money, you don't even know it. I'm just chilling.
I understand, man.
I
But
don't want to tell nobody. You know what I'm saying?
I got to that point. I think I probably had about $20,000, and I shot to Somerset. This was
okay.
2020.
Okay.
But when I got there, I was so frustrated that every store, the lines was like 2-hour wait. And I told myself, I ain't spending no money until next year. I'm gonna let everybody else spend their money. Then I'll double back and buy me something. So I was kind of frustrated with the lines, and I just told myself, we stacking everything, we're gonna put it up, and spend nothing, because everybody out here is spending. They in the lines for an hour and a half, 2 hours. I'm just gonna go home and put me a pair of khakis on, an orange shirt, and some Skechers.
And some Skechers.
Yeah, that's what got me right where I'm at. Those Skechers. I need to be a brand ambassador for Skechers.
Yeah, but see, you just dropping some bars, because people talk about they want this and that, but they don't have the discipline. I remember, I don't know if he's a part of, well, he's done stuff with URL, but I thought it's called Wall Street Trapper.
Yeah, most definitely.
He was just talking about he had slept on an air mattress for about 5 years, and he had this job, and he was putting 70% of his money into the stock market and investing. And, fast forward now, of course, he has assets and doing well, but he had that season of sacrifice.
Yes, sir.
And I think a lot of us, we don't want to go through. We see what the final product is, but we don't know. There could have been years on an air mattress, or roommate, or catching a bus, or driving a shooter car into their business.
In all those situations.
Yeah, people will see the final product. They don't know what people had to go through, and it's like, I tell you, got to go. You may have to sacrifice for a little bit and stack your money. Yeah,
most definitely. I slept on an air mattress. I slept in my van for 6 months. So, like you say, I just knew it was going to be greater later. I was sleeping in the van, riding around. I had found out something called manifestation when I was like 33, 34 years old. Well, I'm about 35. So I started manifesting. I'm from the east side, and I wanted to live in Rosedale Park. So I would go and ride around Rosedale Park at the end of the day and find me someone's house to sleep in front of. And I would imagine that it's my house. I would manifest this in my neighborhood. And, years later, I ended up buying multiple houses in Rosedale Park. Okay. So, like I say, a season of sacrifice, because you never know what's going to be the end result.
Right. Let's show this. Let me show this website. So when people go to the staffing website, is this for companies looking or individuals looking for work, or companies looking for services?
It's actually both. So right there in the orange, it says looking for jobs. That's for anyone that's looking to get a job. And on the right where it says searching for talent. Okay. So that's for any company that's looking to hire someone. Um,
Okay.
yeah, I mean, just scroll down. So they're looking, you know, and those are all of the companies that we have worked with in the
Okay.
past.
Okay.
So yeah, it's for both. It depends on what you're looking for, a job, or if you're looking for employees.
Okay. Okay. Got you. Got you. So let's see. We click on looking for a job. They fill out this application form.
Yeah, I fill out a quick little Google form, and then that comes to the office or to an email we have, and
Mm-hmm.
then what the secretary or whoever we'll have helping will give them a call according to their resume and according to the jobs that we have on file.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. So there it is. Believe313staffing.com. If you're looking for work, go check it out.
Yes,
And
sir.
if those companies and businesses who are watching this looking for talent or need services, there you have it. There you have it.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Wow. Wow. Um, so I want to share how people can. We shared the book, and how people can get in contact with you. You offer mentoring, speaking? What are some of the other things you're involved in?
Yeah, so I do mentorship. I have a cleaning school called the University of Cleaning, where we help people to start a cleaning business, or if you have a cleaning business, grow it from residential to corporate, or from corporate to stadiums.
Okay.
I also do motivational speaking, you
Hmm.
know, podcasts, panels, whatever it may be.
Okay.
And then also, I always say I'm Carol's son. So if you just need some help or whatever it may be, I'm here for you. I don't
Okay.
even like to charge a lot of money for those different services, if I
Right.
even do charge,
Right.
because I feel
Right.
this doing these things right here are my tithes, being
Right.
able to put back into the world God gave me.
Right. 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 That's awesome. Awesome. That's awesome. So for those we got the slide up. Make sure you follow Mario Facebook at Mario Kelly. Check out on Instagram at Believe 313 Staffing. You can follow and see what's going on there. LinkedIn, Mario Kelly. The website that we just demoed,
Yes.
www.believe313staffing.com. If you're looking for work, or if you're looking for talent, or if you're a company looking for maybe cleaning services or whatever things, and maybe you're watching and you have a business, you want to do a cleaning business or want mentorship. So reach out to his brother. His email is there. We want to recognize a comment from Marshawn, Michelle Marshall Brooks. Good information. Thank you for watching and supporting independent media. Please like, subscribe, share with your friends. Great guests, great content.
Yeah.
Um,
Appreciate you. Appreciate you, big
so
brother.
yeah, as we wrap things up, what is some other advice or nuggets or things you want to announce that you got upcoming?
Um, I'm here at Fox 2 tonight. What I did a year and a half ago was I went homeless for 48 hours, and that was to
Oh,
bring awareness to youth homelessness, domestic
mhm.
violence homelessness, and also just to raise money for New Era Detroit, which they do
Okay,
something great. It's called
okay,
Hotels for Homelessness. So they do it for the whole weekend after Thanksgiving, from that Friday to Monday. They rent out a whole hotel and they go around the city and pick up homeless people and bring them to the hotel and have all the resources they need. They have food, shelter, clothes,
okay.
as far as jobs, uh, uh, mental health resources, whatever the resources you need, they have them there. Therapists, whatever it may be.
Right, right,
So I'm here at Fox 2 because I finally put that episode out to show, the different
right,
things that
right.
I experienced while being
Yeah,
homeless. There's no shelter. There's no shelters in the city of Detroit. If there are shelters, they're very
right.
unsafe. They're very dirty. One of the shelters that I went to, the smell was so bad. I feel like you can cut it with a knife. You know,
Wow.
and then
And you
also,
you you went undercover in these shelters?
yes, I literally didn't
Okay.
have any credit cards, didn't have any money. I had to stand
Wow.
on corners and really raise them. I was able to
Did
raise
you recorded yourself? You made videos, or how did you?
Yeah, so I ended up having a videographer out there with me with my video guy.
Oh.
He stayed out there with me for the whole 48 hours. And just everything. I had a microphone on, went to different places. No one would feed me but American Coney Island downtown. So if you're downtown and you're trying to decide on to go to Lafayette or American, we have to go to American, man, because they're doing our people. They're doing our people right. So with all the issues that's going on here in the city of Detroit recently with the homelessness, Fox 2 reached out to me to come and talk about, my experience and what I feel like we can do. And one of the things is, putting the right person in office,
Right.
With Mike Duggan. Mike Duggan was a great mayor that we had. He changed the city around tremendously. He took us from being in bankruptcy to one of the top 10 cities in the country, in the United States of America. So now we just need to pass the torch to someone great, which I feel like Mary Sheffield is that person. And,
all right. You just gave a political endorsement to candidate Mary Sheffield.
Yeah, most definitely. That's why I feel like, hey, that's what I'm fighting for, to help get into that office, because that's what I feel like is going to be the best person for that position.
All right.
A lot of people are great in their field, but I don't feel like that qualifies you to be the mayor of the city of Detroit. Right.
Okay. All right. I'm not giving an official announcement. I'm kind of like reporting the news, but I think
this isn't from Detroit Metro Podcast. This is from Believe. Endorsed.
That's cool. That's cool. I think she's a great candidate. I actually live in her district, District 5, and attended one of her district meetings. So good person.
I grew up in District 5 on Canfield and 75 my whole life.
Yep. Okay. So yes. So I'm currently live in Midtown in that's District 5. So man, that's a great experiment. 48 hours, homeless, going shelter to shelter. Yes, the shelters are in the news because to the weather and because of that tragic incident with the lady who the 2 kids, unfortunately, lives were impacted with the weather and a little bit of neglect there. And kind of our human service infrastructure is kind of being looked at. So, and you've did an expose personally. Yes. Wait, so you're going to release the video on Fox 2 News or something else?
I released a video on YouTube a few weeks ago.
Okay. How do we find that?
If you go to my YouTube page, Believe 313 Staffing, I have like 3 or 4 videos up right now on YouTube.
Okay, Believe 313 Staffing. Okay, on YouTube.
And also last year, I came across a building on the east side of Detroit that had 7 families in it. It was a vacant building. Had 7 families in it, 20 kids. Half of the building didn't have, first off, the building didn't have any water. It didn't have any windows. And it was trash everywhere. I reached out to, like you said, our services that we have here, which is Wayne Metro and CAM. And they just shot me back and forth. They playing tennis with me. Go call this person, email this person, to the point to where I feel like we need to really break down these programs that we have.
Right.
I need to open the other door.
I need to break down these programs we have and build them back up. Meaning that usually, we need to allocate money for these local businesses, local organizations that's already doing the jobs, the New Era Detroit, the Power Circle Detroit, Enjoy Detroit. We need to allocate money for them to be able to help with the homelessness in certain areas.
All right. And shout out to New Era Detroit and what they're doing with the hotel homeless and all the work that they're doing, just as a nonprofit doing community work here in the city of Detroit and across the country.
Yeah.
As we close, I'm just encouraging people. We got your information there, email, website. What's the best way our community can support what you're doing, and any parting words to our audience?
I would say the best way you can support what we're doing, man, is just each one teach one. Go out in your neighborhood. Focus on your surrounding area. If If you see someone home, if you stay on the west side, you shouldn't have to worry about the east side, because it should be someone on the east side worrying about the east side. So let's focus on our neighborhood first and try to make a change. You know, you never know that person that you walking past is asking you for some money. They can change your life. You know, there was hundreds of people who walked past me in those 48 hours where I know personally that I can change their life. I also went to a couple of my job locations to even just see what my employees were going to do. You know, they just walked right past me. So what I would tell you is, you know, have a kind heart. Try to help someone, regardless. You can't help everyone. I know that. We can't help everybody, but try to help somebody in some way. And then, like I said earlier, is money and number follows. They don't lead. So just money and numbers follow. They don't lead. So figure out what you want to do in life and launch and learn that, and then watch the money come.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is episode 142 with the pioneer, trailblazer, Mario Kelly, who's a great entrepreneur. Make sure everyone follow him on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. The website's there. Make sure you get his book, The $27 Millionaire, available now on Amazon. And check out his YouTube, 48 Hours Homeless. And he'll be on Fox 2. What's the name of the show you'll be on tonight?
It's called The Pulse. It used to be Let It Rip. It's called The Pulse now. It'll be on at 10 o'clock tonight. All right.
10 o'clock tonight on The Pulse, Fox 2. Man, I just want to thank you. Yeah, I appreciate you. I know you got a lot of stuff going. You got to get going soon. Thank you for taking the time to come on the Detroit Metro Plug podcast. We're here about our focus here is about celebrating, giving people their flowers, those who are doing positive things in our city, showing a different narrative, celebrating your positive contributions, and thank you for what you're doing with your company and the people you employed and the lives you impact. So I want to thank you for your time and being on this platform.
Oh, no problem. Anytime, my brother. Anytime. You know, hopefully we can get together and we can do another one, or we can, you know, see how we can come together.
Collaborate. Yeah. I do live events and do different things, so definitely we can collaborate and do some outreach programs together. So looking forward to that.
I'll keep you in the loop.
All right. I appreciate you. All right, so that wraps up our podcast for today. Thanks again. If you find value in what we're doing, please like, share, subscribe, share with your family. We're here about bringing Detroit difference makers in the area of entrepreneurship and community involvement. So I'll see you guys next Monday with another great guest, and have a good night. Let me share this quick announcement and we'll be all set. Hey, Detroit. Are you a Detroit area small business owner, entrepreneur, leader of a nonprofit organization, or a business service provider? And are you looking for ways to share your product, service, or your programs with a local Detroit audience? Let us help you increase your reach by becoming an ad sponsor with the Detroit Metro Plug podcast, powered by Empower You Ventures. Our weekly video podcast is a growing local feature on YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn that focuses on local business and community news. This gives you a chance to connect with local Detroit customers or clients. We offer cost-effective ads to fit your needs. Click the link to learn more about our current ad specials. And remember, connections matter. This is Charlie the Plug with the Detroit Metro Plug podcast. Hey everyone, this is Charlie the Plug, your host of the Detroit Metro Plug podcast, powered by Empower You Ventures. Don't forget to subscribe so you too can be a part of the biggest empowerment network on YouTube and Facebook. We bring you weekly interviews of Detroit difference makers in the area of entrepreneurship, community involvement, also reaction to business news and community news. This does not happen without your support. Thank you.